My name is Heidi McCallum, and I am representing Grace United Church. Today's reading is from the book of Joshua, chapters 22 through 24, and the book of Judges, chapter 1. And I will be reading from the Living Bible version of the Bible. Joshua chapter 22. Joshua now called together the troops from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, and addressed them as follows. You have done as the Lord's disciple Moses commanded you, and have obeyed every order I have given you, every order of the Lord your God. You have not deserted your brother tribes, even though the campaign has lasted for such a long time. And now the Lord our God has given us success and rest as he promised he would. So go home now to the land given you by the Lord's servant Moses on the other side of the Jordan River. Be sure to continue to obey all of the commandments Moses gave you. Love the Lord and follow his plan for your lives. Cling to him and serve him enthusiastically. So Joshua blessed them and sent them home. As Joshua sent away these troops, he blessed them and told them to share their great wealth with their relatives back home, their booty of cattle, silver, gold, bronze, iron, and clothing. So the troops of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh left the army of Israel at Shiloh in Canaan and crossed the Jordan River to their own homeland of Gilead. Before they went across, while they were still in Canaan, they built a large monument for everyone to see in the shape of an altar. But when the rest of Israel heard about what they had done, they mustered an army at Shiloh and prepared to go to war against their brother tribes. First, however, they sent a delegation led by Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest. They crossed the river and talked to the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh. In this delegation were 10 high officials of Israel, one from each of the 10 tribes, and each a clan leader. When they arrived in the land of Gilead, they said to the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the other half-tribe of Manasseh, the whole congregation of the Lord demands to know why you are sinning against the God of Israel by turning away from him and building an altar of rebellion against the Lord. Was our guilt at Peor, from which we have not yet been cleansed despite the plague that tormented us, so little that you must rebel again? For you know that if you rebel today, the Lord will be angry with all of us tomorrow. If you need the altar because your land is defiled, then join us on our side of the river where the Lord lives among us in his tabernacle, and we will share our land with you. But do not rebel against the Lord by building another altar in addition to the only true altar of our God. Don't you remember that when Achan, the son of Zerah, sinned against the Lord, the entire nation was punished in addition to the one man who had sinned? This was a reply of the people of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh to these high officials. We swear by Jehovah, the God of gods, that we have not built the altar in rebellion against the Lord. He knows that we have not built the altar to sacrifice burnt offerings or grain offerings or peace offerings. May the curse of God be on us if we did. We have done it because we love the Lord and because we fear that in our future your children will say to ours, what right do you have to worship the Lord God of Israel? The Lord has placed the Jordan River as a barrier between our people and your people. You have no part in the Lord, and your children may make our children stop worshiping him. So we decided to build the altar as a symbol to show our children and your children that we too may worship the Lord with our burnt offerings and peace offerings and sacrifices, and your children will not be able to say to ours, you have no part in the Lord our God. If they say this, our children can reply, look at the altar of the Lord which our fathers made, patterned after the altar of the Jehovah. It is not for burnt offerings or sacrifices, but is a symbol of the relationship with God that both of us have. Far be it from us to turn away from the Lord or to rebel against him by building our own altar for burnt offerings, grain offerings, or sacrifices. Only the altar in front of the tabernacle may be used for that. When Phinehas the priest and the high officials heard this from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, they were very happy. Phinehas replied to them, "Today we know that the Lord is among us, because you have not sinned against the Lord as we have thought. Instead, you have saved us from destruction." Then Phinehas and the 10 ambassadors went back to the people of Israel and told them what had happened. And all of Israel rejoiced and praised God and spoke no more of the war against Reuben and Gad. The people of Reuben and Gad named the altar of witness, for they did it. It is a witness between us and them that Jehovah is our God too. Chapter 23. Long after this, when the Lord had given success to the people of Israel against their enemies, and when Joshua was very old, he called for the leaders of Israel, elders, judges, and officers, and said to them, "I am an old man now, and you have seen all that the Lord your God has done for you during my lifetime. He has fought for you against your enemies and has given you their land. And I have divided to you the land of the nations yet unconquered, as well as the land of those you have already destroyed. All the land from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea shall be yours. For the Lord your God will drive out all the people living there now, and you will live there instead, just as he has promised you. But be very sure to follow all the instructions written in the book of laws of Moses. Do not deviate from them the least little bit. Be sure that you do not mix with the heathen people still remaining in the land. Do not even mention the names of their gods, much less swear by them or worship them. But follow the Lord your God just as you have until now. He has driven out great, strong nations from before you, and no one has been able to defeat you. Each one of you has put to flight 1,000 of the enemy, for the Lord your God fights for you, just as he promised. So be very careful to keep on loving him. If you don't, and if you begin to intermarry with the nations around you, then know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no longer chase those nations from your land. Instead, they will be a snare and a trap to you, a pain in your side and a thorn in your eyes, and you will disappear from this good land which the Lord your God has given you. Soon I will be going the way of all the earth. I am going to die. You know very well that God's promises to you have all come true. But as certainly as the Lord has given you the good things he promised, just as certainly he will bring evil upon you if you disobey him. For if you worship other gods, he will completely wipe you out from this good land which the Lord has given you. His anger will rise hot against you, and you will quickly perish. Chapter 24. Then Joshua summoned all the people of Israel to him at Shechem, along with their leaders, the elders, officers, and judges. So they came and presented themselves before God. Then Joshua addressed them as follows. The Lord God of Israel says, your ancestors, including Terah, the father of Abraham and Nahor, lived east of the Euphrates River, and they worshipped other gods. But I took your father Abraham from that land across the river and led him into the land of Canaan, and gave him many descendants through Isaac his son. Isaac's children, whom I gave him, were Jacob and Esau. To Esau I gave the area around Mount Seir, while Jacob and his children went into Egypt. Then I sent Moses and Aaron to bring terrible plagues upon Egypt, and afterwards I brought my people out as free men. But when they arrived at the Red Sea, the Egyptians chased after them with chariots and cavalry. Then Israel cried out to me, and I put darkness between them and the Egyptians. And I brought the sea crashing in upon the Egyptians, drowning them. You saw what I did. Then Israel lived in the wilderness for many years. Finally, I brought you into the land of the Amorites on the other side of the Jordan, and they fought against you, but I destroyed them and gave you their land. Then King Balak of Moab started a war against Israel, and he asked Balaam, the son of Beor, to curse you, but I would not listen to him. Instead, I made him bless you, so I delivered Israel from him. Then you crossed the Jordan River and came to Jericho. The men of Jericho fought against you, and so did many others: the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Gerashites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Each in turn fought against you, but I destroyed them all. And I sent the hornets ahead of you to drive out the 2 kings of the Amorites and their people. It was not your swords or bows that brought your victory. I gave you land you had not worked for, and cities you did not build, these cities where you are now living. I gave you vineyards and olive groves for food, though you did not plant them. So revere Jehovah and serve him in sincerity and truth. Put away forever the idols which your ancestors worshipped when they lived beyond the Euphrates River in Egypt. Worship the Lord alone. But if you are unwilling to obey the Lord, then decide today whom you will obey. Will it be the gods of your ancestors beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites here in this land? But as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord. And the people replied, we would never forsake the Lord and worship other gods. For the Lord our God is the one who rescued our fathers from their slavery in the land of Egypt. He is the God who did mighty miracles before the eyes of Israel as we traveled through the wilderness and persevered from our enemies when we passed through their land. It was the Lord who drove out the Amorites and the other nations living here in the land. Yes, we choose the Lord, for he alone is our God. But Joshua replied to the people, you can't worship the Lord God, for he is holy and jealous. He will not forgive your rebellions and sins. If you forsake him and worship other gods, he will turn upon you and destroy you, even though he has taken care of you for such a long time. But the people answered, we choose the Lord. You have heard yourself say it, Joshua said. You have chosen to obey the Lord. Yes, they replied, we are witnesses. All right, he said, then you must destroy all the idols you now own, and you must obey the Lord God of Israel. The people replied to Joshua, yes, we will worship and obey the Lord alone. So Joshua made a covenant with them that day at Shechem, committing them to a permanent and binding contract between themselves and God. Joshua recorded the people's reply in the book of the laws of God and took a huge stone as a reminder and rolled it beneath the oak tree that was beside the tabernacle. Then Joshua said to all the people, this stone has heard everything the Lord said, so it will be a witness to testify against you if you go back on your word. Then Joshua sent the people away to their own sections of the country. Soon after this, he died at the age of 110. He was buried on his own estate at Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, on the north side of the mountains of Gaash. Israel obeyed the Lord throughout the lifetimes of Joshua and the other old men who had personally witnessed the amazing deeds which the Lord had done for Israel. The bones of Joseph, which the people of Israel had brought with them when they left Egypt, were buried in Shechem, in the parcel of ground which Jacob had bought for $200 from the sons of Homer. Eleazar, the son of Aaron, also died. He was buried in the hill country of Ephraim at Gebah, the city which had been given to his son Phinehas. Judges chapter 1. After Joshua died, the nation of Israel went to the Lord to receive his instructions. Which of our tribes should be the first to go to war against the Canaanites? They said. God's answer came, Judah, and I will give them a great victory. The leaders of the tribe of Judah, however, asked help from the tribe of Simeon. Join us in clearing out the people living in the territory allotted to us, they said, and then we will help you conquer yours. So the army of Simeon went with the army of Judah, and the Lord helped them defeat the Canaanites and the Perizzites, so that 10,000 of the enemy were slain at Bezek. King Adoni-Bezek escaped, but the Israeli army soon captured him and cut off his thumbs and big toes. I've treated 70 kings in the same manner and have fed them the scraps under my table, the king said. Now God has paid me back. He was taken to Jerusalem and died there. Afterward, the army of Judah fought the Canaanites in the hill country and in the Negev, as well as on the coastal plains. Then Judah marched against the Canaanites in Hebron, destroying the cities of Sheshai, Ammon, and Talmai. Later, they attacked the city of Deber. Who will lead the attack against the Deber? Caleb challenged them. Whoever conquers it shall have my daughter Ashka as his wife. Caleb's nephew, Othniel, son of his younger brother Kenaz, volunteered to lead the attack, and he conquered the city and won Asha as his bride. As they were leaving for their new home, she urged him to ask her father for an additional piece of land. She dismounted from her donkey to speak to Caleb about it. What do you wish? He asked. And she replied, You have been kind enough to give me the land in Negev, but please give us springs of water too. So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. When the tribe of Judah moved into its new land in the Negev wilderness, south of Arad, the descendants of Moses' father-in-law, members of the Kenite tribe, accompanied them. They left their homes in Jericho, the city of palm trees, and the two tribes lived together after that. Afterwards, the army of Judah joined Simeon's, and they fought the Canaanites at the city of Zephath and massacred all its people. So now the city is named Hormah. The army of Judah also conquered the cities of Gaza, Ascalon, and Ekron with their surrounding villages. The Lord helped the tribe of Judah exterminate the people of the hill country, though they failed in their attempt to conquer the people of the valley who had iron chariots. The city of Hebron was given to Caleb, as the Lord had promised. So Caleb drove out the inhabitants of the city. They were descendants of the 3 sons of Anak. The tribe of Benjamin failed to exterminate the Jebusites living in Jerusalem, so they still live there today, mingled with the Israelis. As for the tribe of Joseph, they attacked the city of Bethel, formerly known as Luz, and the Lord was with them. First they sent scouts who captured a man coming out of the city. They offered to spare his life and that of his family if he would show them the entrance passage through the wall. So he showed them how to get it, and they massacred the entire population except for the man and his family. Later, that man moved to Syria and founded a city there, naming it Luz too, as it is still known today. The tribe of Manasseh failed to drive out the people living in Beth-shan, Tanakh, Dor, Iblam, Megiddo, with their surrounding towns. So the Canaanites stayed there. In later years, when the Israelis were stronger, they put the Canaanites to work as slaves, but never did force them to leave the country. This was also true of the Canaanites living in Gezer. They still live among the tribe of Ephraim. And the tribe of Zebulun did not massacre the people of Kitron or Nahal, but made them their slaves. Nor did the tribe of Asher drive out the residents of Akko, Sidon, Alab, Ashke, Helba, Aphek, or Rehob, so the Israelis still lived among the Canaanites, who were the original people of that land. And the tribe of Naphtali did not drive out the people of Beth Shemesh or the Beth Anaph, so the people continued to live among them as servants. As for the tribe of Dan, the Amorites forced them into the hill country and would not let them come down in the valley. But when the Amorites later spread into Mount Heres, Ajalon, and Shabalim, the tribe of Joseph conquered them and made them their slaves. The boundary of the Amorites begins at the ascent of Scorpion Pass, runs to a spot called the Rock, and continues upward from there. This is the word of the Lord.